I think what I found frustrating was that when I went into the contracts, obviously I'll go into it with my lawyer hat on, and then I'm like, why are things moving so slowly? Because I'm used to having, this is the date, so things need to be done on X date and X date and X date. So, and if I don't, there are consequences, which is basically a judge shouting at me as to why these things haven't been done. And then you think, okay, I can just transfer these rules to publishing, and realize, no, these rules are not transferable. It's like they work on their own little universe.
Yeah. And also, and I've friends, we take, you obviously take contracts seriously because of the nature of your other job. I was trained to read through contracts when I was an agent, so I read through them, again, taking that kind of professional business approach. But I have friends who can't get their head around that nuance of publishing, where it's like, no, the actual contract is this like woolly thing that will materialize in 6 months. The deal memo, the terms, the announcement, that's what makes it real. And they're like, but it's not legally real. And it's like, well, no, but it's just the paperwork. The contract's just the paper. We've all agreed. And they find it very odd that it is, it works on its own timeline.
Yeah, that's it, definitely. But I think it's a lot of that response as a reader, as an author, is that I've always said it's because you come to it, if you haven't worked in the industry, if you're only association with the industry, it's you walking into a bookshop, or as I said, watching a TV movie about an author whose editor has sent her to a castle to write her book.
Yes, I delivered my draft early. So.
Yeah, I'll send you on holiday. But if that's your only exposure, I think you come into the industry, I call it with reader glasses on, because your whole viewpoint is as a reader, not as an author, not as it's a business.
Yeah. And even and it's a large business, because even as an author, you still have to remind yourself, it's kind of like, okay, so my book is finished now, so why is it coming out in 2026? I like, there are reasons. They may not be reasons that are good enough for you to accept, but there are reasons that they have to make the thing. There's only so many shelves in bookstores. There are reasons.
But I think what it is, when you find yourself in that situation, you're so caught up in the fact that someone wants my book, that they want my book, and they say they love me and they love my book. But if you love me so much, why are we waiting?
Yes.
I don't understand.
Let's get married now.
Let's get married now. Why are we waiting?
And I think it's an interesting role that the author has to play, that when they're in that situation, when there's like, either a gap between signature and publication, or just a gap between publications, is how you make sure that the love and enthusiasm remains. Because publishing is an underpaid industry that relies on goodwill and love and passion, and editors, booksellers, sales reps, foreign rights execs, they have new stuff coming in all the time that they have to deal with. So you have to work out how to balance being the super enthusiastic author, the good author, the author that wants to make sure that everything is done professionally and well, and all avenues are exploited, without coming across like a diva, but then also making sure that you aren't forgotten.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I remember saying to some of my mentees, is that you kind of have to remember that next Thursday there will be another bunch of books being released, and the Thursday after that there's another new book. So not in a horrible way, but I think I just try and be very pragmatic about things. I'm like, your window, you have a week in which to try and blow up, and then after, you're just trying to maintain it. But and I suppose we don't want to think about competition, but it's there.
It's there. Yeah.